if I find the tracer pass, I'll grab another blur node, Gaussian blur, I'll drop it in here, and again I want to be able to blur anywhere that the tracers pass in the scene. So I'll output the tracer blasts into their own blur, and again if I edit the blur, I might want to make the width and height quite large, and I might do this in stages here. I usually find if you blur it too much, you actually lose a lot of intensity where you want the blur to occur, right in the middle. So if actually I do something like this, let's say a 2 pixel blur to start, and then I bring it in a few more times. Let's do say an 8 pixel blur. I'll output that again. And I'll do a 16 pixel blur as well, and that should be good enough. Let's take our image. Let's do one more edit here. So it might not even really register. Yeah, you can't really see it. But what we'll do is we'll screen them back over top of each other, over top of this image here. So to do that, we'll go and get some more math composites. And if I take this blurred image and I combine it with its 8 pixel blur friend, I get something like that. And then I'll do another math composite and screen again over top of their 16 pixel friend. I'll take the result of them. If I look at alpha, I have a fairly blurred alpha now. And I'll composite them back over top of the scene. So we get the idea that they kind of illuminate the areas in which they travel. Okay, so that's not looking too bad now. We could add another layer. Ambient occlusion could certainly help, but I think we'll stop here for now. The scene looks pretty good. Maybe we'll add one last little bit of a blur. No, we'll just leave it where it is. I was thinking we could add a bit of a directional blur to these casings, but I kind of like the sharp contrast between the sharp casings and the muzzle flash and laser blasts. So I'll finish this off by just doing a file output, middle clicking and dropping it into my graph. And actually I could do one last color adjust, color correct. Just edit that, and I could bring the gamma up just a little more. Try and work the gamma. There we go, I'll boost it by 1.3 and output that. And we'll come back in and have a look at the final render in just a moment. I'll output this as a pic sequence, and I'll export it into the composites folder, and we'll call this the final rifle rig render. Make sure we know which project we're going into, just to verify we are, yes, and we'll actually render this out, and we'll come back in just a moment. I'll actually render off as a target file.